Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathryn. If you're new, I would love for you to subscribe and join the family. And if you are returning, thanks so much for watching another video. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, interacting, hitting that post notification bell so that we can just keep my channel popping. Pretty much. By the title, you know that today's video is a chit chat, get ready with me. I am letting you guys be like the driving force behind it. So I did make it Q&A style so that while I'm updating you on my life, I'm answering the questions that you specifically want to know. Y'all didn't take it easy on me. Y'all asked some really in-depth, juicy, in your business type of questions. But it's been so long since I've done one of these videos, I felt like I owed it to you guys. Without much more for me to say, let's go ahead and get into me spilling the tea on myself. I was actually in the middle of doing my brows. I was gonna do them off camera before starting this video because they just take me a while to do. And especially when I do them before the rest of my face makeup. But I figured I could just go ahead and turn on the camera and just hop into this video. So the first question is, what are your thoughts on the 50-50 conversation? First of all, I'm so sick of this conversation. It literally comes up, like once every couple of months, people are arguing. I will say this, do what works for you and your household and your relationship. Don't ever go off of what I'm doing, what your best friend doing, what social media says. Like, do what works for you and what you're comfortable with and what you can live with. For me and my household, 50-50 ain't happening. The reason why I am not with the whole like splitting things evenly, like when it comes to finances, 50-50, is because there's so much more that goes into a relationship beyond finances. And so people get fixated on, well, let's just split things 50-50 down the middle so that it's even, so that it's equal, so that we're contributing in the same type of way. But when it comes to things outside of finances, you may not be contributing equally. There's this thing that is called the second shift. And the second shift basically is the work that a woman does after she comes home from her 9 to 5. In the modern world, a lot of women work 9 to 5. Some of us stay at home. I stay at home. I mean, I still work. I have social media. I have a business, this and that. But most women go outside the home to work. Or a lot of women go outside the home to work. When they come home, they are still expected to meet or satisfy this traditional role of being a homemaker, cooking, cleaning, childbearing, and child rearing, and really are just expected to kind of do so, to be naturally good at it because you're a woman. Some men, husbands, boyfriends, partners, whatever, are really good for really pitching in and helping with the housework. But a lot of times I just feel like women still get stuck with the majority of it. And I hate to use the word stuck because that makes it like sound like a negative thing. But I just don't feel like it's right if you have your own like corporate job or whatever type of job that you work, and then you come home, you're tired from work, you've been beat down all day by your supervisor, by your manager, and then you're still expected to come home, cook a meal, have sex with your husband, help the kids with their homework, get them ready for bed. One of your children just told you they got a project due tomorrow. Now you got to help them with the project. You got to run to Walgreens and get the supplies and then still have enough within you to just be okay for yourself. So you're putting in all this extra work, all this extra effort to, you know, keep the household running smoothly, and then you're still required or expected to contribute financially 50%. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it's not something that I would personally be on board with doing. My situation is kind of unique because I do work from home. I go to school now too. But before I went to school, I pretty much was home all day working for myself, either creating content or you know, fulfilling like orders for my business. A lot of times when you work from home, people like diminish the work that you do and just feel like you're sitting around not doing anything. I'm not going to agree with that, but I will say like my work that I do compared to the work that my husband does is completely different. So my husband like does like manual labor type work. So when he goes to work, he's, you know, slaving, really getting a real workout. I'm not gonna say they trying to kill him up there, but sometimes some of the stuff he tell me, it sound like they trying to kill him. So this type of work that he does while I'm at home working more in a leisurely type of way. With that, I feel like it was naturally expected of me to do a little bit more. And of course, I want to do a little bit more around the house when it comes to cooking and cleaning and making sure this is taken care of, making sure the groceries are stocked up. My husband works so hard on his job that when he comes home, like I want him to be able to come home and rest and relax. To compensate for all the extra housework I may do since I'm here all day, or the cooking that I may do since I'm not as tired as he is at the end of the day, then we have just naturally agreed that he is going to be the primary provider when it comes to our finances. He's putting in 100% of effort. I'm also putting in 100% effort. That may look different. You know, it may be him paying the bills and it may be me doing more of the homemaking, but we're still contributing in equal amounts overall to ensure the success of our marriage and of our household and of our growing family. And I would like to note, what each of us contributes is not always the same. I don't always clean up the house. Sometimes he has to get up to be like, hey, I'm finna clean up. And then sometimes like when it comes to him being the like person who's primarily over the bills and stuff, there'll be months where something may come up. And so I'll pitch in a little bit more to help my husband out, because I'm not just gonna let him like go without just because we agree on this set way. Life is constantly changing. Things are always being thrown at you. Not every day is the same. We just focus more so on, like I said, contributing equally 100 period. That's just what it is. So the next question, which kind of relates to the last question about 50-50. What is the toughest thing you and your husband have endured since getting married? This is something I've been wanting to share with y'all. It just took me a while to get to this point. And I know my mom is going to probably be like, Kathryn, why did you talk about that? That is nobody's business. Because it's really not anyone's business. However, I just feel like I want to be like really open and honest with you guys. And I got permission to talk about this with y'all. And my husband was like, I don't care. Because for a while, I just feel like it wasn't my business alone to tell. The toughest thing by far that me and my husband have experienced or been through since being married is him losing his job. I just pride myself on being open and letting y'all know like where I'm at in life. And so feeling like I couldn't share that, it was just like really difficult for me. So let's talk about it. My husband purchased this home in October of 2020. By December of 2020, he had proposed to me. And by February of 2021, we had eloped. As y'all can see, every 2 months, we were doing something pretty big. Well, 2 months after getting married, my husband got a call that they had let him go, or were letting him go. And for me at the time, it was just like, oh shit, you know, but I wasn't too worried about it because I mean, at the time I was super consistent on social media. I was literally a couple months out from launching my business. And I felt like if we were going to have any financial strain or difficulties, I would be able to like step up and really pitch in and help out. In addition to that, my husband was back working within the month. I think within 3 weeks, he had secured another full-time job and was making money. Not as much as he had originally been making, but I was like, well, look, babe, you have to look at the positive. Like, you are in your home, we're married now, we're in this together, like we are going to be okay, we are going to be fine. And I feel like he was hearing what I was saying to him, and he probably did agree with the fact that we were going to be fine in the grand scheme of it all, but he was still really struggling mentally. And it took me a while to realize why he was struggling. Him being let go at that time where you feel like you are consistently elevating and then you just stop and then you feel like you have to start at the bottom again. It was a huge, it was like a huge blow to his ego and his pride as a man. And it literally took me over a year to realize that was what was wrong with him. Because I could never figure it out. Like, we never missed a beat. Like, never felt it. Didn't miss out on anything. So I just couldn't understand why he was like feeling so down and depressed. He had gained like 50-60 pounds. I could just tell that his spirit was broken. That for me is what made that the toughest thing we've ever gone through, because I have always been the one who would be going through these like bouts of depression periodically, and I had never had it the other way around, where now I'm dealing with a partner who I'm married to. I can't escape this at all. I'm in it with him, and I want to be in it with him, but it was just something new for me that I had to learn to navigate. It just took a lot of honest conversations, a lot of talking, a lot of like reassurance. Within the year, if he lost his job in 2021, literally by September that year, he had worked his way back up to what he was like making when we first purchased this home. But I just know that situation changed him. But I also feel like it's just a part of like being an adult in lifing. Stuff like that happens to people every day. But when stuff like that happens, you really have to use it as a like a learning lesson. And I think for us, we learned that, first of all, when you work for the man, you know, your job, I'm not gonna say it's always in jeopardy, but you know, you don't have 100% job security. You know, people can let you go at any point. And so since that's a possibility, you have to be prepared. You got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And thankfully for us, we were prepared. But more so than anything, and he's had this conversation with me, he said, as a man, like, you want to be able to take care of your family and, you know, make sure everybody's good. And I just kept telling him, like, we are good. Like, why are you, you know, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But I just really had to stop and listen to him and understand what he was saying and where he was coming from. And now I get it. And one thing about me and my husband, like, we do kind of just fall into that traditional, like, man, woman. The man goes out and works, makes the money, pays the bill. The woman, in my case, he pretty much just lets me do what I want to do. Like, when I told him I was going back to school, he was like, okay, I'll help you pay for it. Or like, I'll support you. You know, and now that we're having a baby, he just kind of wants me to do what I want to do, but to just be the main homemaker. And I'm like, okay with that. We just fall more into like traditional roles. So since we do, y'all have to imagine what him losing his job would do to him mentally. You know, just like, whoa, just like kind of like shook him all the way up. The next question is, does childbirth scare you? Yes and no. I say no because I'm one of those people, I do not waste my time being afraid of something before it happens. So, for example, like, I have my concerns about childbirth, but I know that I probably won't feel the nerves that come with childbirth until I'm actually giving birth. I'm not about to psych myself out right now. It's, you know, it's 4 months away at this point, and I will deal with it when it gets here. But I'm not naive enough to not think about it. I do realize that doctors don't necessarily always give Black women the same treatment that they give women who are other races. There's this narrative that Black women are so strong, so tough. I mean, at one point, scientists even believed that Black women, Black babies, Black men did not perceive pain the same way that white people do. Like, that was actually a thing. And that being a thing at one point has trickled its way down even generations and generations later, which is why a lot of times when we speak up, when we're having these concerns or these issues, a lot of doctors will brush it off or blow it off and be somewhat dismissive. So that scares me. But I've talked to my mom. Well, first of all, I talked to my husband. But I talked to my husband, my mom, my dad. I have talked to all of them about it. If y'all are anywhere near me while I'm giving birth and I have any types of concerns, you all have to advocate. I don't don't know why that was so hard to get out, but it's because I'm so charged up about this. Y'all have to advocate for me. Because these doctors, they just gonna tell me to shut up and keep pushing. Or they're just going to assume like, you're all right, you're just experiencing labor pains, or you're experiencing what comes with childbirth. But like, no, if I'm telling you something's wrong with me, like you need to take heed. And so I have already shared with my folks, like, y'all gotta speak up for me. If I'm telling y'all something's wrong with me, like, don't let these doctors and nurses like just ignore me. But other than that, I'm just taking my entire pregnancy day by day, and I will deal with any other fears when the actual time gets here. But it's not something that I haven't thought about. Have people treated you differently since becoming pregnant? Yes and no, but mostly yes. A lot of people, I feel, have used my pregnancy as a way to try to get closer to me. For example, like, I was talking about my gender reveal, and then I had people who I don't even really know like that or talk to hitting me up saying, hey, like, are you sending me an invite? And I'm like, why would I invite you? Like, I don't even talk to you or know you like that. Like, this is just not like an open, free for all type of event. And then a lot of people also who never had anything to do with me, they ask me questions like, oh, you gonna let me keep the baby? And I'm like, you're not even close to me. You don't even know me like that. Like, why would you even want to keep my child? Like, that's crazy. I'm sure that once the baby is here, a lot of that will probably calm down, because it's easy to be here for a baby that's still in my belly, you know. But I always hear once you actually have the baby, like, a lot of relationships that you have with people change. But I ain't worried about it. Part of me is like, girl, Kathryn, shut up and be grateful that people are checking up on you. But there's just this other side of me, because I am a loner in everyday life, and a lot of people don't try to hang out with me. And so now that they're trying to like push their way into my life, I'm like, what are your intentions here? The next question is, will you abandon your school and career goals now that you're pregnant? I am not going to abandon them. They may take me a little bit longer to achieve. My mom told me to just stay encouraged. She told me this really early on in my pregnancy. She said, you're feeling good now, but on days that you don't feel good, I want you to remember this. So let's just say in 20 years, and I've been a doctor for X amount of years. She was like, with you already working for yourself, you have your own business, and now you're a doctor on top of that, 20 years, your child's gonna be grown. And you will probably be at a place where you could retire if you wanted to. So she told me to stay encouraged. Stay encouraged and keep the end goal in mind. And when she told me that, y'all just don't know what that did for me. Because now I look at it totally different. Like, I'm not just thinking about, oh my God, I'm pregnant now, I feel horrible, like I'm just gonna drop out and give up and just go with the flow of where life takes me. Like, no, I'm thinking 20 years in the future. So no, I will not abandon my goals. I may slow down, but I'm not gonna stop. Any major plans for 2023? My major plans are giving birth to a healthy baby, possibly making a little bit more progress with my schooling. I really haven't even thought too much into my 2023 plans. But now that I've said this to y'all, I will probably start working on my vision board this week, so I can at least have an idea of what I want the year to look like. Do you still have Sugar? How is she reacting to everything? I get asked about Sugar all the time, and it's just because I don't post her as much, but she's sleeping all the time. Like, y'all, she's getting older, so she just sleeps all day, every day. Sugar, Shuggy, hey girl. She has her first like brand deal coming up, so once I get done filming, I'm gonna go get her stuff and start working on her content. But yeah, my baby girl is gonna be bringing in her own bag, which is so amazing, and I'm just so proud of you and blessed to have you. So yes, I still have Sugar. Girl, you just got my face wet. That is so nasty. And she knows that I'm pregnant. I'm gonna insert a picture of us riding in the car the other day, but she loves laying on my stomach, listening to my stomach. She was a clingy dog anyway, but now she's super clingy. She wants to sleep right up under me, a lot of times on my breast, on my stomach, or at least beside me. And anytime I leave the house, she wants to go with me. Like, So I've been kind of testing her out. I took her to the mall the other day. She did pretty good. I left her in her carrier the whole time, of course, so I don't know if that really counts. Look, you got foundation on your face. You're cute. She is just so intrigued by everything that I do, every move that I make. It's just really beautiful, and it makes me, it's crazy. I love her a lot, but it makes me love her even more because it's like she's just so in tune with me, and it just lets me know, like, you're the dog for me. I love you so much. How do you feel about having a baby out of wedlock, and what is your advice to single mothers? So me personally, I always just kind of had a plan for my life of wanting to be married to the man that I have children with. That's just something I've always wanted for myself. Seeing my mother and father being married, and then seeing them separate as a single mother and a single father, both contributing to raising us. Experiencing my mom as a single mother, I really just did not enjoy it, because it was really a lot harder on her being by herself. And I would see my cousins who had both of their parents, and it just made it, for me, that was just something that I wanted to strive for, having a 2-parent household. That's just what I wanted for myself. But I don't judge people for their choices. I had certain expectations of myself, but I don't put those onto other people. That's just not me, because we all different. We all have different lives and experiences. And I also understand, like, a lot of times nowadays people want babies and don't want a husband, and don't want, not even a husband, don't want a partner. So don't ever let anyone shame you or make you feel bad about your situation. Everyone's gonna always have an opinion, so you just have to do what works for you at the end of the day. And that is pretty much the whole thing with this video. Do what works for you. You can be married to somebody and still be a single parent, okay? It has happened time and time again. I know somebody right now who married, who husband don't do nothing for them. He sit around all day. He don't help cook. He don't help clean. He don't help the child. He don't help do nothing. He don't even pay all the bills. Going back to our previous conversation. Almost as bad as if he were not in the home at all, an absent father. It's like you're there in the home, but you aren't contributing to anything. And this woman, your wife, is basically operating like a single mother. Just because somebody is married does not mean their situation is peaches and cream. And just because a person is single does not mean that they are lacking or without or struggling. That is not the case. Every situation is unique. Okay, so I'm finna go like fix my hair, put something on so that I can, you know, do the intro and outro and then get my day going. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way to the end, you are a trooper for real, for sure. And I love you so, so much. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell so that you don't miss any of my uploads. And then also be sure to leave me a comment down below of some videos that you want to see in the future, or if you don't have any particular requests, be sure to interact with me anyway down below. Say hey, do something, say something. Even if you're just making your presence known, I would really appreciate it. So once again, thank you all so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video.